it's the end of the second week after the presidential election, and I think it pays for us to do a little bit of a look back, a little bit of a review, kind of regroup, think about what the market actually is now. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, and I think after this weekend, people are really going to come back to the market feeling very bullish. And the days or the week, let's just say, surrounding Thanksgiving has typically been, it's very well known for being super strong. And this isn't a presidential election year where the market tends to be strong. So I think just in general, I think we're going to be in one of the strongest bull markets that we've ever lived through, ever. It could be the strongest bull market that I've ever lived through. I'm 47 years old. Right now, the strongest sector out of the 45 sectors is the electronics sector. So if you look at the homepage, logged out, truemarketinsiders.io, you will see electronic stocks is the strongest out of the 45 sectors. I'm going to give you a stock within that electronic sector. So I'm going to give you one of the strongest stocks in literally the number one strongest group. But let's do a quick review first. So Donald Trump got elected. There's discussion of nuclear threat from Russia. The stock market basically just shrugged it off. So either it's no big deal and the people with all the money actually know it's really no big deal, and it's just a little bit of dramatic, I don't know, just a little bit of showcasing that might have to be done. Maybe some saving face. I'm not sure. But the market says that it's not a big deal. And of course, it could just be that the market's so strong that even when you talk about a nuclear threat, it shrugs it off. But I mean, that's a pretty big deal. And it's not like it went down even a little tiny bit. It was up that day. I also want to point out, again, small caps dominating large caps just in the short term. Large caps have done much, much better for years leading up to this point. So you can't take a little blip and just assume that that's going to continue. But if you look at the small cap index versus the large cap index, small cap index is outperforming. It just is showing so much more strength. And the large cap indexes are pretty much dominated by the Magnificent Seven. Let's sign in very quickly and show you the dashboard. It'll show you the top 5 strongest sectors. You guys have kind of grown accustomed to that. This is for paying members only, but I share it with you every day. It's just the top 5, just a little sneaky peeky. Electronics right at the top. Computers, aerospace, airlines, utility, electric, and finance have been here. All right, so these are kind of the usual suspects of late. But electronics popped right up to the top of that sectoral strength matrix. When we look at the stock market, this is what we look at. We don't say the Dow's up 200. Like, that doesn't tell you anything about anything. But if you look here, we see 45 groups. We can see that 27 have supply and control right now. When you see this thing flip to all blue, forget it. It's game on. A lot of the gains will have been made. Some of the biggest explosive gains will have been made by that time. And I want to say tentatively, I'm not sure, but most likely on Monday, I'll send out an alert. I'll let you know that we're going to have a live event. I have something that I think is going to go from 1 to 5 before the end of this year. So you can 5x your money if I'm right about this before the end of the year. I think there's very little downside. I'm not going to tell you what it is right now because I just want to tie up a couple loose ends and just want to call the company, talk to a couple people there first. That's why I say it's tentative. But it's an extremely strong stock, and I think I can show you a way to make 5x before year's end. And right now, again, it's November 22nd. So we're going into a very strong week. I think the weekend's going to happen right now. It's Friday. I think people are going to talk about how strong this market is. Remember, the first weekend after the presidential election, it was, people were like, holy cow. Let's say cow, right? They probably said, holy cow. Holy cow. What an interesting time we live in. And as Trump builds his cabinet and he surrounds himself with the people that he wants to surround himself for the next several years, this picture becomes more clear. Uncertainty is what kept the market from rallying this whole time. That uncertainty is behind us, but we're just adding layers and layers of certainty every time he appoints somebody new. We're getting close to that January time when the torch is passed. Hopefully it's nice and peaceful. But anyway, this is weekend number 2. And in weekend number 2, people, they're going to feel more confident. They're going to feel more comfortable. People are going to talk to their families. What the hell are you going to talk to your cousin about who you never really see or speak to? Hey, you invest in the stock market, right? How's your 401k doing, right? At minimum, you have to force these uncomfortable, well, not uncomfortable. It depends on your family. My family's cool. I have cool cousins. But, you try to find some common ground. What do you do? Stock market stuff, right? So they're going to talk about Bitcoin. Remember, Bitcoin exploded from the 3,000s to the 18,000 range in 2017. I think it went from maybe like 6,000 to 18 or something like that in November 2017. Had a huge gain because people were talking about it with their family. I mean, that was what they said anyway. Bitcoin's exploding. Bitcoin is breaking highs. Bitcoin is just one cryptocurrency. So we're going to be talking about the crypto markets. I think next week, leading up to Thanksgiving, you're going to see a lot of bullishness. I think after Thanksgiving, you're going to see a lot of bullishness. I think December is going to be an extremely strong month. Right now, if you look at the market again, supply seems to be, I don't know, it's not in control yet. I'm going to look at another indicator right here in front of you. So might bore you because you don't know what this is, New York Stock Exchange BPI, but I highly recommend going to truemarketinsiders.io/BPI, as in bullish percent index. And we update that every time there's a major change in this indicator, which is the single most important indicator of all technical indicators. I've been a technical analyst for like 3 decades. I'm telling you, this is the number one strongest, most important, most telling indicator. You can see how these X columns are higher and higher as we go. We're kind of up here right now. That means there's stock market wide, there's more stocks with demand and control than we have seen since the bull market of 2021, or the tail end of the bull market in 2021. And we still have a lot of room to go. So you're going to see more and more stocks moving to buy signals, more and more stocks breaking highs, breaking resistance levels. When you track this indicator, it goes from the high range. It's an oscillator that goes between 0 and 100. So it goes to the high range and it makes its way down to the low range. And it takes years to go from high down to low, from low down to high. We went to the lows in 2022 and 23. We are just now breaking out and making our way up to the high. So that means that more and more and more and more stocks are going to participate in this bull market. We're nowhere near the market mania, right? The market mania is kind of the last stages of a bull market where people stop thinking about valuation. They just don't want to miss the next big winner. So we're not even close to that. We still have to reach that point, and then everybody loses their mind and parties like there's no consequences. And that'll be a fun time for a little while before the hangover. But we've got plenty of upside to go. So when I look at the sector bell curve, when I say I look at the stock market, this is what I look like. This is what I look at. I see right now a lot of red, okay, but it's not really. I think this is temporary. I think it's going to shift to blue. I think right now is actually a great buying opportunity. That New York Stock Exchange BPI said overall demand is in control of the overall market. Even though here you see more red in these sectors, a larger number of stocks overall are moving to buy signals and breaking out than breaking down. So anyway, on Wednesday, I said, listen, warning to anybody who's in NVIDIA, reduce their position, reduce their exposure. It could have absolutely tanked. It pulled back after the earnings. But, the point is it didn't explode higher like a lot of people thought. I might give you some very sensitive, urgent, timely information that you want to take with you to the market that day, especially going into a weekend. And here, instead, we're just doing a 2-week review. I like this sector edge thing. I'm going to keep doing it. We can kind of feeling our way around how we should make these videos. Keep coming back. Here's to a great 2 weeks after the election. Really, it's a week and a half after the election, but, here's to some fun times. Has it been a week and a half? It's been like 2 weeks. I'm losing my mind. I'm 47 years old, and I'm already losing my memory. Geez, it has been 2 weeks. A week and a half. What am I talking about? Yeah, well, this video has been a little bit more relaxed than the other ones. The other ones have been action-packed. Here's the electronics sector. I'm going to click on the strongest sector, number one strongest sector, and we're going to go down to, let's look at neon. So we're going to pull this up, or American superconductor. Let's look at American superconductor. American superconductor here, great stock. If I look at the fundamentals of American superconductor, you could see that it has accelerating earnings growth, accelerating revenue growth. If you look at the number of funds that own it, each quarter, more and more funds getting into this stock, and it just broke out, and it broke out on big volume. It broke out of a multi-year base. So you can see the early 2021 high, and it just recently either broke out above that just by a little bit. So let's keep watching it. Let's look at the same chart on Thinkorswim without the fundamentals. And let's look at the important time when you broke out from this high. Big volume to the upside, broke out, pulled back. It's probably the best time to get in right now. AMSC, American Superconductor. Anybody could jump in and buy the options here. You can buy the Junes going out to the June's 28 strike price. Probably buy these for about $11.65 right now. You could hold on to these just for a few months, and I'll bet these go to at least 20 bucks, maybe 30 within the next 3 months. So there's one trade for you. It's in the electronics sector. How many people do you know that are saying buy the electronics sector? Nobody, right? But the electronics sector is the #1 strongest sector out of the 45 groups. They might be telling you to buy semiconductors, which is a really weak sector right now. They might be telling you to buy finance sectors, which are the strongest sectors right now. Nobody's talking about electronics, and that's why you come here, right? So this has been Chris Rowe with Sector Edge. What you want to do is look for a video on YouTube, and it's the Chris Rowe Show channel, Chris Rowe Show, and it's the BPI. Maybe we'll have somebody pop it up around here or something like that. Maybe you click on it. But it's a video on YouTube that I made about the BPI, the Bullish Percent Index. That's the indicator that you just saw. Again, go to truemarketinsiders.io/BPI. Save that page. Look at it, once a week. Yeah, watch the video. It's gonna change your life if you watch this BPI video. Anyway, thanks for watching.